Hi everyone, Lori McKenzie, Christian mental health therapist back. And yes, right now I'm driving, I'm in traffic. I can pay attention. I really can. I am in traffic a little bit and it's evening. I think you can tell the red lights shining on my face. Probably it's very attractive. Anyhow, so this is my second in our series on stress management when driving. As I stated before, Christians in high numbers state that they are the most likely to behave in not very Christ-like ways. They're the least like Christ when they're driving. It's really blown my mind how many people answer that and answer it pretty quickly when asked. So, and then I noted how I'm kind of a patient driver, and it kind of doesn't really fit with the rest of my personality. But anyhow, so it's been interesting to think some of that through. And right now I'm driving, and so if you haven't seen the first video that I did on that, I will link it below. But I talk about something called radical acceptance, and sort of the lesser version of that as acceptance, and how that can help with the stress level when we drive. It sounds kind of simple, but watch that video just to get a little more information. The second one, and I think you guys knew this was coming, the second way that we can manage stress and minimize our levels of stress when we drive is prayer. You knew it was coming, right? But really, let me give a little more detail. So it's not just, oh, you get behind the wheel, and if you're getting overwhelmed or aggravated or bored, whatever, you pray. Yes, that certainly you can do that. That makes sense. But I think you can be creative too. So like if you're super aggravated with red lights, and maybe you are going a path where you hit a lot of lights, and you may not hit many red ones. That's considered a good trip, right? But you could hit them. Maybe God wants you to hit him. He's trying to slow you down or something. The Lord does that, you know. But also, you could sort of make a decision that, you know, when you hit a red light, that's when you're going to pray. Maybe red lights will be when you pray for certain things, like certain people, like family members. When I hit a red light, I'm going to pray for a family member. Or when I hit a red light, I'm going to pray for somebody at church. Or, you know, or like a global issue, or a local issue. You know, just this is when I'm going to. So you almost don't mind the red lights, or maybe even look forward to them. Maybe not. I don't know. You know, you could do other things too. You could be really creative with this. You could be. You could also say something along the lines of, you know, like, so a certain stretch of a trip, if you're going to be behind the wheel for longer than you really want to, maybe a certain stretch of the trip, you'll talk to God. You know, you'll do confessions. Maybe a certain length of the trip you'll do Thanksgiving. Maybe a certain length of the trip you'll do, you know, praise or supplication. So you can take some of those different little sort of prayer systems that a lot of us have learned, and you can integrate them into your driving, and you will be less stressed. It's a no-brainer. Now, we all have to be careful. We know ourselves best, right? So right now I am recording because I'm in a very familiar area. I'm wide awake, and I know that I can pay attention to driving and do this video. But not everyone can. Not, you know, I've shared before that I have some traits of ADHD, and I know some people with certain types of ADHD symptoms ought not do that. So and maybe even praying, maybe deep in-depth prayer isn't such a hot idea for you while you're driving. That's when you even simplify it even more. You know, when I get to a red light, I'm going to just raise somebody up, or I'm just going to say a word of praise or adoration or something. So keep it simple if you need to focus, if you're the type of person that really needs to focus on your driving and not get distracted. So those are some ideas. If you have other ideas of how to integrate prayer into your driving, I mean, I think a lot of people I talk to already do this, partly because Maybe they like it to be quiet time, and if you are raising a family or having a busy job or something, it might be the only time you're alone in the car driving to work and back. It could be that it just is because of your attention issues. It's the best time to really focus on prayer. Maybe, it's when you're listening to music and you have Christian music on, and that's sort of an inspiration. So a lot of people do talk about praying when they're driving, and whether it be, a significant time of prayer or just an opportunity to just prayerfully, walk with the Lord as you're journeying through life, literally and figuratively. So I would love to hear if anyone has any other ideas or any thoughts on what I shared. If you like this kind of content, I would love if you would subscribe and push the notification button, and again, below you'll see the first video on this, and there'll be more to come. Okay, take care. God bless. Bye-bye.